Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone. Shall we wait for 1 or 2 minutes? Or we can start?
Let's give it a couple more minutes. Who's online?
I think Amelie, Daphne, I think
Okay.
2 people.
Oh, okay. Let's just give it a couple of more minutes.
Okay.
Or maybe we could just, for who's here, maybe we could just have an open session.
Yeah, sure.
Before we start. If there's any questions from yesterday or any sharings.
Sonal, you were right. I missed quite a bit due to the time change. I thought it would be the same until we have daylight savings and you don't.
No, it changed. It changed a few months ago, I think. Can't remember when. So, but then I didn't want to argue, so I said, okay.
I realized yesterday that the session was so short. And,
yeah, because I have, I have a meditation group, and I have people from Germany and all, and I know the timing is always an hour behind at the moment.
Yeah. All right.
But anyway, it's all recorded, so no loss.
Yeah, that's good.
You go through it in your own time. Daphne's here, but I don't know if she's any questions. Okay, maybe we'll just start with meditation, and then whoever joins.
Okay. So I request everyone to mute. And let's recap from previous 2 sessions. I think in the first session, we learned about that we are not the bodies. We are different from the bodies, like we are life force energy, or we call it soul. And then we learned that when we think ourselves as a soul, we emerges with our pure intrinsic qualities. And we learned about those 7 qualities of peace, love, happiness, purity, power, bliss, wisdom. Then we also learned about if we associate from the bodies, different vices comes, and then because of those vices, I think we are struggling. Then on the second session, we further dig down into our soul conscious state and how the soul, through mind, intellect, and impressions, acts in this world or express in this world. So I think that was last 2 sessions. And now let's experience through the meditation what we have so far realized. So sit in a relaxed position. Let me give you some little light music. Sit quietly. Take deep breath. Make yourself stress-free. My body is now very still, stress-free. Slowly raise your awareness and see yourself as point of light, sitting at the center of forehead. Feel that I am this life force energy. And all my intrinsic virtues are radiating from this point. Visualize yourself as twinkling star, full of light, lighting this world. Now I feel peaceful, loveful. I am very happy, pure and blissful. I radiate these virtues I radiate the pure power within me. I now realize who I am, the soul. I'm at the moment in soul conscious state. Feel deeply that I am a point of light, expressing through my mind when I create thought. My each thought brings pure and elevated energy to the world. I realize now that I have to purify my intellect by changing my sanskara, the impressions, and that can happen when I am in soul conscious state, creating very pure and elevated thoughts. That thoughts turned into elevated actions. That's when impressions are created. I, the soul, now feel powerful, peaceful, and loving. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. So now, before we start, I will request everyone not to put the, anything in the chat, even the questions, while speaker is speaking. I think you can note down your questions, and we will have a question answer session later on, where you, at that time you can put your things in the chat box, or I think we will allow today for everyone to speak themselves, their experiences or their questions. So I think till then, please be in silence and listen carefully. I think today's session will be more exciting. Now I welcome Sister Sonal to take us through session 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Abhinav. Good morning and welcome to this morning's session, especially for you in Europe. You are behind us, and for really making that effort to be here this morning. Even the Lusaka ones are not here, most of them. So I feel that today's session is really the crux, that this is the most important thing on this journey of Raja Yoga meditation, this lifestyle that really transforms us. And so pay attention, try not to be distracted or write any, even if something comes up, just put it on the side for the moment, we'll deal with it later. Also, I must request you to be very open-minded. I know we have our own sets of belief systems that we've grown up with or been conditioned through religion, society, etc. But I really invite you to really be open as you receive this information. So today we'll be talking about 2 metaphysical aspects. Just as the soul is metaphysical, there are 2 metaphysical aspects that the soul needs to realize, to understand, to really take this journey forward and to see some deep transformation in your lives. So we'll start with the aspect of the 3 worlds. And maybe I request, once I've maybe gone through the topic, a brief description of the 3 worlds, we can have a look at the slide. Just to give you a visualization, because some people are very visual. And I think because we're experiencing a lot of things metaphysical, a lot of things that are not physical, it's important that we have visuals of these. And even the visuals that were created were of these things that you're seeing are through trance messages, because the human mind in its body conscious state is unable to fathom or visualize this. So this was done through trance messages. And so we'll start with the 3 worlds. The human self experiences the physical world through the 5 senses. And ever since we became body conscious, this is the only world that we are aware of. And we call this the corporeal world or the physical world. Corporeal meaning the world of the physical, the corpse, okay, the body. And so we experience this world through our 5 senses, our sight, our hearing, our taste, our smells, okay? And we now believe this is the only way to experience peace, happiness, joy, when we are somewhere that is peaceful, or we see something peaceful, or we hear something peaceful. And that's all well and good, because like I said yesterday, it's really good that we take care of the body and we feed the senses with what is right for it, what makes it feel good. But we are not limited to that. And if we want to really step into our highest power, the state of constant stability, constant peace, and to really experience that which is innately our nature, we've got to go beyond that. So the corporeal world that we all know is the world of the physical. It's the world of matter. It's the world of sound, of action, of color. And this is this world that we're living in as human beings. But now as spiritual beings, we want to really go beyond this physical, because as long as we're in this physical world, our senses will pull us, okay? Remember, we have a lot of body conscious sanskaras. We have created over lifetimes, we've created body conscious sanskaras. So the natural nature at the moment is to be distracted, to be pulled by the senses. So we want to experience peace, love, happiness through our senses, but then we also get influenced by the negative, because the world is also heavily toxic and negativity. The vices are ruling us and everything around. So it's very natural that we get distracted by that. So how do we then empower the self? How do we keep this? How are we able to nourish these inner deep qualities within ourselves? And the answer is we've got to realize, understand, and experience a world that is beyond this physical. Sometimes this world is known through people who've done meditation as the astral plane or planes. Okay. And so the world beyond the corporeal world, we define as the subtle or the angelic regions. So the soul, although it is a point of light, when it comes into the body, it radiates this energy, okay? And it radiates the energy into a a subtle energetic body. And we are able to travel with that energetic body into that subtle region. We call it the angelic body. But to be able to do that, we first need to, in this body, through our minds, we need to really recognize who I am, what my qualities are. So before I can even step out and take that flight, I need to gear up, okay, by reminding myself of who I am as this peaceful being of light energy. So my thoughts need to become very positive, and not just positive, very pure and very elevated, because the world of the subtle region is completely pure. So there are thoughts, but the thoughts are very pure. They're based on our deep innate sanskaras, nothing to do with the physical, nothing to do with the senses. And so the best way to describe this is, we all know what angels look like. Usually angels are shown in this subtle white light bodies. It's like you can't even touch them. They're subtle energetic bodies. And so the subtle world, or the angelic region, is like this region of cool white light. Okay. And it's the region of elevated thoughts. So I can only experience this region, this subtle region, when I'm in my subtle form. And when I'm in my subtle form, I only have the purest, highest quality of thoughts. Thoughts that are completely separate from those created through the five senses. Okay. So I'm going to just invite Brother Abhinav to just give us this experience of this subtle world and being in the subtle world through our angelic or subtle bodies.
Thank you, sister. I request everyone to sit quietly in a relaxed position and slowly bring your awareness that I am a soul, point of light at center of my forehead. I am an embodiment of peace. Just feel that from center of my forehead, vibrations of peace and purity are radiating out, creating a subtle aura around us. Visualize that slowly in a soul conscious state. I am feeling light around me. Slowly I am losing the sense of my physical body. All my virtues now playing part in creating this aura of white light. Feel this aura around yourself as if I'm a body of light, very light, and slowly my consciousness is lifting up, leaving this physical body, in fact, this physical world. I feel as if I'm flying high across the moon, the star, the sun. I reach in the subtle region and see myself in the zone of white light. I am in the purest form. I see myself as the being of light. Just feel this, deeply experience this form, this pure form of yours. And in this subtle world, I connect to everyone. I connect to the matters. I connect to the other souls. I can vibrate all my power to this world through this region. Just feel for a moment. I am feeling like an angel. Slowly come down to your physical world and enter into your physical body. Now I feel purity within me. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you for that beautiful experience of our subtle state of being and of that subtle region. So the subtle region is a space where through our consciousness we can create whatever we want. Through our pure thoughts we can create elevated desires for this world, for oneness, for unity, for beauty, and whatever we want to see. We all want to see that oneness in this world. We all want to see pure relationships. We want to see our relationship with nature is pure, and that's why we are doing all these things as human beings. We're fighting to save the environment and really uplift our world. But really, the space that we really have to do this work is from that state of consciousness. And the subtle region provides us that ground. When we hear, we're easily pulled and distracted by everything, and our minds don't stay focused enough to manifest these beautiful thoughts. So let's begin to use this subtle energy and the subtle region to transform this world into what we all want to see it as. We all want that oneness. We all want love. We all want unity. We all want peace. We want this symbiotic relationship with nature, with the animals, that love and respect. And talking about that, so this is the way to go, because right now what's happening is when we want to see things, and when people are not behaving accordingly, we get very angry and upset. But just know that these souls are acting out of being unaware, or we call it the sleep of ignorance. You know, there's a story in the Hindu scriptures about Kumbhakarna. And really what that story signifies is the sleep state of the human world, the unconscious state, the unaware state. Unaware of what? Unaware that we are these very powerful, peaceful beings of light. But those of us who have this awareness have this responsibility, and we can begin to use these qualities within us, the energies, this awareness, this knowledge, this understanding, to start creating that right consciousness. And even if we're just a handful out of multi-millions, this energy is so powerful. When we consciously, with the purest, honest space in our hearts, create it, it will begin to shift and transform. And as we speak, this is what's going on in the world. It may not be able to, we cannot probably see it on a very much physical level, but at an incognito level, that this high consciousness and state of being that we are creating is changing things. And this is, hence, this channel is called Something Good Happening, because it is. So with that, let's go into the third world. So this third world is the world that not even people who are doing deep meditation for years, and these gurus and saints, etc., and yogis have experienced. It's not even there. It's a world that we could never understand unless the main resident, you know, the main resident of that home comes and describes it to us. We know it in our wisdom, deep down we know it, but we have forgotten it. And so we really need, and it's such a deep, deep forgetting. It's like this spiritual amnesia. So this world we call the incorporeal world. The world that is beyond matter, beyond even thought, beyond energetic bodies. It is the home of I, the soul, the being of light, where I am in my pure essence, just this point of light. And this home is described as this golden red home of light. A golden red aura and energy around. And in this home, I'm freed from everything. I'm freed from my bodily relationships, my bondages, my baggages. So anything that is to do with the physical world, I am liberated from. So sometimes this world can be described as the land of liberation, or the land of silence, because this is a space that we don't even create any thoughts. We just experience our true selves as peace, or the abode of peace, the abode of rest and comfort. Now, if I want to truly, deeply purify and transform and experience my authentic self, then this is the land or the home or the world that I need to travel to, using that power of the mind, the power of visualization. And so, again, I invite Brother Abhinav to give us an experience of this world in our true forms.
Okay, thank you. Just relax. Sit very comfortably. Take a deep breath. I am feeling that I am a soul. I see myself at center of my forehead as point of light. I see very intense and powerful light of radiating. I am visualizing now that all my powers are radiating. It's very intense experience now. I just see myself as point of light. And slowly this point of light is detaching from the body. I can feel that as if I'm moving up, lifting myself in the form of point of light. Just visualize yourself a point which is emanating lights, moving upward beyond this physical world, beyond even moon, sun, stars, and reached at a place where we see golden red light all around. I enter into that space. I see myself point of light, and I can experience a dead silence. There's nothing, only the silence. Experiencing a divine power, experiencing this golden red light, and I am immersing into that. It's a silence which I am experiencing the highest form of divinity. This is my seed state. I feel like a seed, just point of light. This is my real home. A dead silence. Now, I, the soul, point of light, traveling back to my physical world, slowly, slowly coming down. I see my body and enter into it and seated in the center of my forehead. Still, I feel that experience, the silence, the dead silence inside me. And this is giving me strength and power. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you. Thank you, Brother Abhinav, for that experience of the third world, the world that can only be experienced when I'm in my state of pure soul consciousness. And this world needs a lot of practice to really experience deeply. So it's practice, practice, practice that really makes perfect. And yes, we will get distracted because that's how we've been conditioned. But the more you practice and the more you're in this beautiful energetic vibration with each other, the easier it becomes. So that wraps up this little introduction to the three worlds. But before I finish off there, I just wanted to add that, so just as the physical world that we know is a world of just complete it's just about the physical and experiencing it through the physical senses. The subtle world is the world of movement. So there's movement. You can experience movement in that world, but there's no sound. Okay. So corporeal world is sound, action, color, the whole works. Subtle world is just a subtle world of thoughts and movement. And the soul world is just dead silence, no sound, no movement, no nothing. Okay, I just am in my state of peace. And if I want to truly, deeply experience my intrinsic nature, and I want to charge and empower myself so that even if I'm in my physical body, in the physical world, amidst negativity, I can stay in that peace. I need to experience that world to charge myself. So I've got to tune in. So just like a radio, when you want to tune into a certain channel, you've got to come onto the same frequency. So if you're going to experience that soul world, you've got to tune into the frequency of soul consciousness. So that brings us to the end of the introduction of the three worlds, but more than just knowing about the three worlds, well, especially the third world we very well experienced in. But what we now want to do is we want to bring those experiences of the subtle and the soul world into the physical world. And that is when we can truly transform this world, when we can bring those experiences into this physical world. But right now, our whole mentality is to just experience these little temporary forms of happiness wherever we can, run here to get that peace, do this to get that peace. But really, the only place we should be traveling to is there. Okay. And I'm not saying you shouldn't travel anywhere. That's not what it means. But on a daily, consistent basis, our pilgrimage or our travel, our retreat needs to be in those worlds, because those are the permanent charging of the self, the soul. We can do everything else in the world, but we can't come back into our homes. We'll go back to square one. People spend all these money. I mean, in this travel, you don't even have to spend a single ingwe or penny or Deutschmark or whatever your currency is. So, and it's so easy. It's so easy. So it's easy, but also challenging. So I want to now touch a topic that really is the essence of Raja Yoga, and this is creating a relationship with God. And I know a lot of people feel this feeling of averseness when they hear the word God. And that is because there have been a lot of, through religions, we've been given this impression of God as this powerful source of energy that punishes and, you know, has this wrath and anger, or it's this being that just gives blessings and can fix everything. Okay, and when we feel that way, it takes away our own power. Okay, if we think God is the one who can fix everything for us, we don't have to do, we just have to sit in front and just pray, 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 and he will fix everything and ask like a beggar. We are taking away the power from ourselves. Or if we think that God punishes us and, you know, if we create sins, or God is responsible for what's going on in my life, that's also a misconception. And another misconception we have for this energy is that energy is all around us. This is a huge, and every spiritual, well, most spiritual beliefs that I've seen and heard and read about, including religions, all say that God is omnipresent. And this is the great, again, I'm saying be very open-minded. You've got to remember your wisdom, and you've got to deeply ask yourself these questions. Does it truly make sense? Okay. Is God truly omnipresent? Because if God is omnipresent, and we look up at as God as this higher authority, this being of peace, this ocean of love, this giver of, bestower of blessings, the purifier, the transformer, then should all these things that are happening in this corporeal world be happening? No, because God will never allow that. So this is one huge misconception that the philosophy of Raja Yoga clears for us. And when it clears that for us, we really begin to take a responsibility, not a burden, but this responsibility of feeling more in control of our lives and the world around us. Okay, not this helpless victim waiting for God to change something. Okay. So who is this God? Okay, the form, anything that we give this energy to has a form. So just like I, the soul, have a form, and my form is that point of light that we learned on Friday evening. So this energy of God is also, the form of God is also of light. And this is why this is recognized in many religions, you know, the lighting of the candles in Christianity, the lighting of the diyas. In Islam, they say Allahi Nur, meaning God is light, because the form of this divine energy, the soul, is of light. Okay. And the soul also has, I, the soul, don't have a name, but this soul has a name. So I, the soul, adopt the name of the costume that I take. So I come into this body, and this body, my parents name it as Sonal. I actually don't even have a choice in it. Yeah, maybe I do, I could change it. But the name that I have is not my name. It's actually the name of the body. And when I leave this body and take another, my name will most probably change. Okay. But the soul, the supreme, so the soul, the God is this form that is of light. Just like I am, the only difference is I am limited and this soul is unlimited. I become limited because I come into a physical body to express myself, to create these beautiful relationships, to experience the world through the five senses, because it is a beautiful world. When I'm just in the soul world, I just am. And so I'm this little tiny spark of all these beautiful treasures and jewels. But they're in this emerged form, like a seed form. like Brother Abhinav was sharing in his meditation a few minutes ago. So I'm in my seed form. But for me to really express this beauty within, I have to take this physical body. But the minute I take a physical body, the law of entropy begins to take place, meaning something new becomes degraded. And that's what happens to the soul. I come down very fresh, pure, new, filled with these beautiful qualities. And then as I take these bodily roles and functions and I start to experience the world through my senses, the spiritual power of the soul starts degrading. But with God, that never happens, because this, despite what certain religions say, God never, ever takes a body of his own and plays the roles that we do as human beings. And the reason being is we need that being, especially at this time in the world history, so that we can really be awakened to our truth and we can have that energy, pure energy to tap into, so that we can return to who we are. So God, then we can say, is like a supreme soul, not just a soul, but a supreme soul. And the name of the supreme soul is a Sanskrit word called Shiva, where the terms Jehovah, Allah, all that come from. So why is this word Shiva? Because some dictionaries, I don't know if the ones you have, will describe this word as meaning the seed. So this is the seed of all creation. Okay, so Shiva means the seed of all creation. Shiva also means the benefactor, the world benefactor. Okay, so this is the meaning of Shiva. So in this meditation, we do have a name for this supreme soul, for this divine energy that some people refer God to as, or as, so basically that's the name of the God. And what is the role of the supreme soul? So the role of the supreme soul is one of a purifier. When the soul, and all human souls become impure, this soul comes and purifies us. And the only way the soul can purify us, the supreme soul can purify us, is by giving us this understanding, so knowledge. And really, what is the light that people talk about? Enlightenment light. It is knowledge, it is understanding. And when we listen to this regularly, when we feed and nourish our intellects, our mind and intellects with this understanding, what happens? Yesterday we were talking about the intellect that's become closed. So it's not like people don't have consciousness anymore, and that's why they're doing bad things. It's because this consciousness, the wisdom part, the intellect has been locked. And what God does is slowly begin to open this intellect. Okay. But the onus is on us to first tune into ourselves, because he gives us this, I'm saying he, but of course the soul is genderless, okay, gives us this understanding. So that is the role of the supreme soul, supreme God, or supreme being, to give us knowledge, to give us understanding, to give us the wisdom, to allow us to really tap into our innate truth. And what is the other role of the Supreme Being? Is to liberate us from all sorrow, all suffering. Okay. So this Supreme Soul is not, is not the one who punishes us. We will go into another philosophy of karma that is very interesting, and that explains the sorrow and suffering of the world, and how we are our own enemies, or we bless ourselves according to the thoughts, words, and actions that we create for ourselves. Okay. So this is the role of the Supreme Being. Now, in order to really, some people through religions naturally have this feeling of love for God. But many of us, like for example, for me, I was not born into a very religious home, but there was, I mean, it's a long story, but so there wasn't, I had to really learn to forge that relationship of love, the link of love. And really, this is what this meditation is all about. At the end of it, it is really empowering this link of love between I and the Supreme Soul. It was there, it always has been there, it's an eternal link, it can never be broken. But because of everything, this body, everything that we've been through in our lifetimes, it's been submerged. And we are searching for it. Even those who don't believe in love, people are looking for love, truth, beauty in life, in their lives. Unfortunately, looking for them through relationships and other people. And remember, other souls are also not full. So we are seeking from those who have a void within themselves and will never be fulfilled. Will never. There'll always be that lack. So the only one who can fulfill that void is that Supreme Soul. And this is the role of this one. And we'll just go into now really how do we create this link of love with this one, okay? Because this is really the answer to everything in our lives and for the world, okay? So, and according to this one, he says, even those who know me or believe in me are atheists. Because according to him, or agnostic, according to him or her, this divine energy, to really know God is to really form that deep link of love and to know him in his full capacity, as he is, who he is, when he comes, what he does, where his abode is, what his qualities are, what his nature is. Okay. And the only person that can do this is himself. Only when he introduces or she introduces him or herself to us can we really understand this being in its full glory, full capacity. And when we begin to understand this one, then we become like this one. We get colored in the company of this one, and our own divinity awakens. And then we become like angels. We become like angels for others. We don't even have to say or do anything. Our mere presence can uplift and elevate those around us. And each one of us here has that ability, And this is what the role of God is, to empower that ability in each one of us, okay? Because he says, I have nothing to do with your physical world. That's your world of human beings, human souls. And so if you want to rectify things in your lives, in the world around you, you've got to do it. And you need me because I'm the purest source who is the seed, the source of you, okay, and your qualities. This is where you eternally belong. So that is God. And the best way to really form a relationship with this one is not just as God, okay, but as our Father. And so for me, or in Raja Yoga, when we are really, we have this true love for God and have forged this relationship of love with this one, with love, we say, Baba. And I want you to just kind of say this in your hearts, this word Baba, and feel, how does it feel within you? I know because I have done this for 20 odd years with this, because Baba means father in a lot of languages, and it just invokes this feeling of, you know, father or mother or paternal feeling within. And this is we have our physical parents, but this is our eternal parent. And this eternal parent gives us the inheritance, of all the things that we've been craving for lifetime after lifetime and in this lifetime. And we receive everything from the one. If only we can take time to, effort. This is where the effort and the energy lies, to create that relationship with the one, because we are so used to creating relationships with physical bodies. Okay. And now we're learning to create, through this meditation, we're learning to create a relationship with the source, without calling the source a divine light or God, but really the relationships that we first form when we come out of the womb is with our parents, our mother, our father. So the experience of Raja Yoga is all about having that same experience with this eternal divine source, as this mother who nourishes you, nurtures you, has this love for you, unconditional love. So whatever you have, with your weaknesses, whatever you are, however you are, just know that this one loves you unconditionally. And in our meditation experience, we really feel the love, even if we feel we're not worthy of it. Okay, this one will just charge us, and our hearts will fill up with that love as that mother. And as a father, we feel this masculine energy of protection, of safety, of security, of this canopy of light around us, and we know that we are always going to be safe and secure. So when I form this relationship with this one as a father, this is what I experience. I experience no fear. I feel forever protected. I feel safe. I feel secured. And I feel like that there is this canopy of protection surrounding me. Nothing ever can go wrong. And even if I feel it's wrong for me, there is a higher good benefit merged in it. And that's the faith I have in my Father, that He will always protect me. But to do that, I have to really work at creating that link of love with this being. And then we go with all other relationships, the relationship of, we all want partners, we want to feel loved, we want intimacy, okay? But really our physical partners can't really fully fulfill that for us. There'll always be that gap. And if we are going into relationships to be needy of something, it's always going to bring some gap, because no human being can fulfill that pure love that you are looking for. And so you can have every relationship with this one as your best friend, your constant companion, your beloved, your teacher, your guide, seeking guidance from this one, seeking teachings. So there are numerous relationships that we need to learn to develop with this one. And when we learn that art of having all relationships with the one and none other, then in our physical world, the relationships that have karmically come in, we've not even chosen them, okay? Like our families maybe. Sometimes we could also say even our work situations, okay? Because we need those, we need work in our lives, and we can't really just come out of it unless we have another job. So that means it's a karmic relationship we've come into. And sometimes karmic relationships don't always feel good and easy. They are very difficult and challenging. But if I have created, because we have neediness, we have expectations from those souls. And so then if I'm fulfilled at that level, that deep level with the one, then I can now come in and fulfill these relationships without being needy. And in this way, I am helping those souls fill that void in themselves. Okay. So that is all about God. Maybe you may have a lot of questions on this, and we will now open up, and we can unmute before we do have a meditation experience. I will finish off with a meditation experience, but I just want you to now make sure that we understand this concept of God, of the source. So anyone?
I would have a question concerning the three worlds. Has this something to do with the koshas, with the shields that protect the body, and the pranic body, the soul body? I'm not very familiar with this. I just learned in my teacher training about the koshas, and it sounded very much alike when you were talking about the three worlds.
Yeah, but it's, yeah, so that's not the soul world, it's more the astral planes. So in Raja Yoga, we just label the astral plane as one subtle region, but there are, I know there are 7 layers to them. And so those are connected to those energetic bodies. Okay. And yeah, so you could say they're the energetic body. So the highest astral plane is the subtle region where you experience of yourself as this purest body of light. And it's nothing to do with the physical. It's nothing to do with the physical. I don't know if that helps. Yeah, it's more a subtle energetic body. Yeah. But the layers of it, even in this physical world, we have energetic bodies. And the prana that you are talking about, the life force energy, is more to nourish that physical body, that energetic body, sorry, the subtle energetic body. This subtle energetic is our angelic state. It's the one of purest, highest state. It is one beyond the physical, completely beyond the physical. Okay. But the prana you're talking about is, we take in life force energy. Energetically, the matter also radiates, physical matter. So just like the soul radiates that pure angelic light, aura, our pure bodies, the physical body is also energy, and it is also vibrational. So when we take in prana through all the pranic foods, the pranic, like air, breath, it is working on the external energetic body connected to the physical of matter. Okay, so any other questions? On God or your concept of God? Maybe someone would want to share their concept of God, who God is. No one? Is everyone shy? Or maybe you don't even believe.
I'll speak.
Thanks, Jack.
No worries. Yeah, I think you're well aware that I have I struggle with the word God. So when you said that, yeah, I always have admitted that, because I would usually have described myself as an atheist, I guess, in kind of traditional terms. But yeah, I guess being on this spiritual journey, I do kind of have a concept of the divine, but yeah, still to this day, like 5-6 years later, struggle with the word God in itself. So not really a question, just more of a
thank you, Jack. Yeah, I mean, personally, I also am not really I really don't like using that word God, but really what God means, the generator, operator, and destroyer. And these are the 3 roles that God plays, or the supreme being, or Baba for me, plays in this world. So generating a new awareness or consciousness, and sustaining it, so operating it, and destroying the old consciousness of the negativity, the vices that the souls have covered. Okay. Yeah, I just don't like this personification and animation of God through religions. It's just a bit like far-fetched for me. But when I really understand myself as a spiritual divine being, I know that there's a source I came from, and I know when I return to that source, I will fill myself up. And logically, to me, that makes a lot of sense than anything else. And even those things of God coming into this world and, you know, doing this, and there's these stories of wars, and just know God will never, never do anything to destroy anyone, good or bad. This energy is very neutral. And really, it's something that we've got to aspire to become very neutral in everything. Lately, for even COVID, I see, there's this two sections. One are anti-vaccination and anti-masking, and one for. And I just think, and even actually souls that have this understanding and knowledge of Raja Yoga, and I feel are very, very high there in there, have these very strong beliefs about it. And then I think to myself, how come I don't? I'm not for or against any one of them. I just am quite neutral about it. Maybe because there is an understanding that whatever is going on is very accurate at the moment. Everything is happening, and those who have to be anti will be, and those who are, but that's not my role. My role is what? To protect myself, my inner world. Okay? And if I have to get vaccinated, I will. If I have a choice, I won't. I mean, it doesn't really, at the end, it's for the body. But I have control over this. And for me, that is the most important thing. Okay. And we're getting too caught up in the world and the divisions and all that. And then someone needs to take a neutral stand. We are the ones living in this world. We are the ones transforming the consciousness of the world. Okay, so we've got to remain very stable. We've got to be very neutral in everything. Okay, and without judgment. This is very, very important if we want to really elevate our consciousness. Judgment just pulls us back. Okay, when I say judgment, is judgment of what's going on in the world around. Okay, detach from it all, because I promise you, no matter what you are pulled into and you get upset about, it's not going to change anything. What will change is when I stay in my peace. That's what will change. So if there's no other questions, I'll just invite Abhinav. Before I'm going to do a meditation to close this session, but I don't know if there's any things I may have missed where Brother may have wants to share or add. I would love to invite him so that you hear his something nice, short and sweet.
Thank you, sister. I think there's nothing much to say, but I just tell everyone that I think what you have learned so far, just practice slowly. And that's where in between we are giving this little meditation so that you can also try to practice. And I think the most important part which Sister Sonal said is connection with the God. I think that is where we will transform ourselves. I think we need this energy. Currently, our intellects are locked. We don't have that power to transform ourselves. So we need a source. And he is currently in the purest form. And that's when we will get this energy. So just practice and try to make connection with the God. I think that is what I will emphasize on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. So we'll end our session with an experience of the two worlds, the subtle and the soul world. So I'll guide you through how we can experience these worlds and how we can experience this energy of the divine or God or Shiv Baba. So coming into, as usual, our very comfortable seated positions. If you're holding any tension in the shoulders or the neck, maybe just shake it off. Just kind of shake your shoulder out a little bit. Let's get our body. We have been sitting for a little while, so just shake off any stuck energies there in the bodies. And just take a nice deep breath in through your nostrils. Just exhale out. Relax, relax, relax. Just feel your mind become quiet and still. And use the power of your mind to visualize yourself as this energy of peace. This energy of peace at the center of your forehead, radiating peace. Being aware of yourself in your physical costume, yet separate from this physical costume. You are not your body, you are not your senses. You are this beautiful divine being of peace. And in your state of peace, gently detach. See yourself leaving your body in your subtle costume, your body of light. So your body of light is in the image of your physical body, but it has no bones, no blood, no organs, just light. Begin to experience that lightness as you come into your subtle angelic form. Still, that point of light in the center of this, the forehead of this subtle form. So you have left your physical body, but you're still in this corporeal world, and you can see this corporeal world from this disembodied state of being. And when you see your world from this vision, you feel unlimited. You can see everything clearly. You are removed from any negative emotions, and your thoughts are completely pure, ones of peace and love for everything that you see around you in the corporeal world, without any judgment. You just are this beautiful angel of love, of light. And you now go further beyond the universe, and into the highest subtle plane, the angelic world, in Sanskrit called Sukshmavatan. Sukshma meaning subtle, angelic. Just see yourself floating in this subtle world of light, cool white light. Your thoughts are only those of pure love, pure peace. Your heart is open and expansive. And when you look at the physical world down below, You feel compassion and love for every being, for every soul, for nature, for the elements, the animals. And from this space, you take another journey, a journey into the world of silence, an abode of peace, the eternal abode. And here, the experience is of complete silence. No sound, no movement, pure silence. A world that is constant, consistent, and yet very, very deeply familiar. You feel this experience of deep relaxation, relief, comfort. And you begin to experience the presence of another being. Very powerful magnetic being. It's like there is this bright magnetic pull of light, and you are drawn into this light, pulled into this loving arms of the Supreme Father, Mother. And whatever you wish to experience, you begin to experience, because this one knows what it is you need at every moment. There is no need to ask, just to be open, surrendered. And you are now one with the source, receiving the inheritance of divine values and virtues and powers, becoming full and whole and content in yourselves. You are overflowing with these qualities. There is nothing you need. You have received everything in the company of this one. And with this experience of being completely full and whole, slowly return back via the subtle regions, stepping back into that angelic costume and into a space of elevated thought in your mind. Return into your bodies. And as you come back, just feel this current of tingling sensation flowing through the body. You are now back in your physical world, in your physical body, but your consciousness has changed. Something has shifted. That union, that link with the most powerful source has created a beautiful impression which is etched in your sanskara. And you are now ready to share this vibration, this energy with the world around you and the souls in your contact, connections, and relationships. Om Shanti.
Thank you, sister, for such a great experience.
Thank you. So this session will be recorded, and so this is the best way to refresh yourselves, to join the channel called Something Good is Happening, and you can watch this as many times as you can. I suggest do it as many times as you can to get the experience that you are looking for, because it's all about practice, especially the areas that you're still struggling or resisting with, because our ego mind and our past conditionings and belief systems will cause resistances. And if you really, really want to experience your full awareness, then you've got to do this as a reminder. I know some of you, like Jack, has done this course a number of times, but it always feels new. There's always a different experience, and I'm sure she'll agree with me. Even for me, every time I give this course, it's a different experience. Something gets etched. And so it's just never, never, never enough, okay? Because our potential is unlimited. We've got to know that there is no glass ceiling. We are unlimited, okay? We have the potential to become equal to that source. And the source is just saying, step into your power. If you want to see change in yourself, in the world around you, take responsibility, step into your power. That's it. With a lot of wisdom, knowing right wisdom, right understand, right knowledge. There's a lot of rubbish out there, okay? And so that's why it's very important to ask yourselves, with whatever you listen, what's the logic? Is it making sense? And your wisdom knows. When the wisdom is awakened, it will accept. If your intellect is awakened, sorry. And for that, you've got to really make the effort to forge a relationship with the source. This is the essence of Raja Yoga. This is the essence of this meditation. It's not just about me. It's about really forging that connection with that source. I know, I'm sure Brother Abhinav has incredible experiences. I know I have. Maybe at some point on this channel, we'll have a whole experiencing Babas from different sources and people who've done this meditation experiences. They're just magic. All I can describe it is as magic, and it just does wonders for your lives. So for now, we will end this session, and really, really gratitude and thanks to those who are here this morning. Many times when things are offered for free, they're not really valued. But the reason why this course is offered for free is because it is invaluable. There's no value that can be placed on it. And if you valued yourself, you would be here. And you've just shown how much value you have for yourselves. And you would stop everything. And there will come a time where you've been given these opportunities and you don't take them. And there'll be the great feeling of regret, because really the information you're getting here is the only thing that you need for the world that we're going through. So nothing really is important at the moment but this understanding and this awareness. Nothing really. Not your relationships. These are all temporary. One day your mother can be here, the next day gone, okay? But this knowledge will always be imprinted, and it'll not just be a source of your strength, power, peace, but also a source for everyone else's around you. So really, really deep gratitude for you to be here this morning. Om Shanti.
I think before we close, Sister, if you can explain next week plan, what we
Okay,
are.
so yeah, thank you. Very important. So next week, we'll confirm the timings, but definitely Friday 6:30 and Saturday 4. Yeah, probably Saturday 4 p.m. We'll probably go back to Sunday 4 p.m. as well. It looks like most people can't make, but those who've missed today, we don't advise that you go forward without doing this session. It's just unadvisable, and we probably won't even permit it. It's rather you listen to the sessions before on YouTube before joining those sessions, but we will get that message out. Yeah, this was very important. So 6:30 Friday, we will take up an interesting philosophy called the philosophy of karma or action. It's very interesting. And you may have a lot of questions for that one. And then Saturday and Sunday, we will go into another interesting session, probably 2 days of that. We will talk about the drama cycle. Okay, the world, the history and geography of human souls, and where we're at now, and a lot of other deep, interesting experiences about our journeys. You know, when we came down, and how we've gone through this whole cycle. So that would be in the next weekend. Okay, so put that in your calendars if you wish to continue. But I must also say that if you've done this weekend, really this is the foundation. And the more you practice this, everything else will just come because you are wisdom, okay? So this is key. This is the main thing. So well done for being here. Okay, Om Shanti.